Everyone was in L Clan back in the day almost. Okay, good to know. Alright, here's Pilgrims, which is kind of like a nomad start where you also have to transport over. As you can see. Oh, I don't know if my spectator overlay is going to be able to cope with this. Because two players were playing co-op here. You have DauT actually playing, but bearing in mind this is back in 2004, I think. DauT being L Clan Schmecker. There was no like spectator feature, so the way you watched the games live was by co-oping the player. So L Clan Wrath, who is someone who was active pretty recently and had a very good run in WSVG, was co-oping with DauT and watching. Please don't land that island, DauT. Oh my god, he's got to figure this out. Players already enjoying it. Yeah, I was just reading the chat saying Caplock versus DauT had that Schmecker nick. Fight. That would actually be a really nice build pick, like you gang up 5v1, but now it's going to be a war. L Clan Buddha, who I have no idea who that is, has more or less transported all of his villagers away, and he's going to get an early TC because DauT has messed up here. Fucked up math, he says. It really wasn't. Like, I mean, I've only seen this map a couple of times, but I would not look at that shoreline with what he could see of this area of coastline and think to myself, that's the mainland. No way. Especially with where his island was, they should be kind of alongside each other. I guess the only way you'd make that mistake if you'd literally never seen the map before, personally. But anyway, L Clan Buddha, who may have another identity, who someone might be able to tell me who it is, but it's not a name that I've heard often, so maybe that one's harder to figure out. He's going to have a good start. TC location, kind of nomad style, like you see what you drop your TC. Two wolves so close. That's actually devastating. Like, imagine if you didn't have 10 vills and you had, say, 3 or 5, and you drop no loom vills over here, and the wolves are two wolves are right by the shore. That would do so much damage. But anyway, DauT has found a spot for his TC right next to wood. He's got a lot of turkeys, so he's going to be able to do some good scouting. L Clan Buddha with, I was going to say 2, but that is actually just a ship. Only 1 turkey, so the wolves are coming. GG. Oh no, he got loom. Never mind. He got loom. But even so, those wolves might claim a vill. Really? Really? Are you gonna? No, it's not gonna happen. I was gonna say, if you lose a loom vill in that situation, that's just silly. But anyway. So DauT did a dock over here as well. That's actually super nice dock. Look at all these steep fish, and especially the marlins, which I think have a tiny bit faster gather rate. Seems like this was just a kind of friendly game because the players are just talking to each other and having a laugh. I mean, you do see that in tournaments as well. AOC is a game where lots of players have like, well, it's a close-knit community, and players at top, many of them have good relationships. Some of them bad, but most of them good, and some can have a bit of fun during tournaments. But also, like, it does seem a bit more like a rated, just a friendly or rated game where the players don't really have much idea what's going on. DauT's like, there are wolves, and L Clan Buddha's like, no joke, there are. Anyway, DauT being delayed on the TC may be made up for slightly by the fact that he has such a good dock. I didn't see how early L Clan Buddha got his dock up, but he's level on the fishing ship, so there wasn't a big difference. Let's have a look at map. What they see. DauT knows about where Buddha is. He hasn't really found much in the way of resources though. He sees lots of food, so that's fine. Okay, now he's finding his first gold. I was going to say, because this view lock, don't need that. Like he did land a pretty decent spot where there is some gold, but most of it is actually either far to the north or on El Clan Buddha's side. Where 2 more wolves here. My God, he 2 more here as well. He really didn't get very lucky with these wolf placements, did he? They're all on his side. DauT got all the balls by the looks of it. So it's basically Buddha with all of the gold and DauT with more of the food. Not all of it, but more of it. 2 more wolves up here as well. What the hell? And an overall better dock and more access to fish for DauT, although still this dock for Buddha is really, really good. And there's so much fish here. The density of the fishing is so great that that will last him forever. I'm guessing sheep can't go on transports. I don't know if I've ever tried that in my entire life. To put a sheep on a transport, but you'd think the players would have sent them their sheep with them. In fact, Red didn't even find his sheep by the looks of it. Those are grey Gaia sheep, just with my dark grey patch. Schmecker Xing Buddha is like... Sorry, no, Buddha Xing DauT Schmecker saying, I know where you are. They're actually taking the mick out of each other, or rather DauT is taking the mick out of Buddha because he hasn't scouted enough with his transport and therefore his score is lower. Sheep can't be transported confirmed. Buddha is just Buddha. Okay, thanks Jupe. You know too much, man. This game is from 2004, South Cal, so in the era that you're suggesting, the GameSpy era, I wonder if this wreck actually comes from there, or whether it was in the last days of Zone. Was it 2003 the Zone shut down? I can't remember. 03, 04, something like that. El Clan Buddha with double dock, fish boom, pretty nice. All villagers on wood to sustain that. Oh, this is a somewhat optimistic no loom baller. Yeah, here we go. That forgot loom. I'm perpetually surprised by the distance at which the top players managed to lure boars from without loom. But that was never going to happen for you, DauT, and he knew it. Let's race. Oh man, this game is being played in such good spirits. I love it. 4 ducks. So Buddha's gonna grush here. By the looks of it, it's sent 5 villagers to gold, which is more than enough to sustain those galleys to start off with. And all villagers on wood, of course. So this is very much a grush economy. He's up about 30 seconds faster than DauT, and DauT is kind of obviously therefore a little bit later in redistributing his economy to be like full grush economy, but getting that gold mining in. I'm on the isle. What does that mean? Is he trying to convince DauT that he never left his island? I should think DauT is well aware that that is a lie. DauT not happy with his opponent's feudal timing here. Dot 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 indeed. Double bit axe kicks in. All docks producing galleys at this point. So El Clan Buddha's economy in great shape to produce galleys from all those docks, and he should have a pretty effective grush here. DauT is a lot later on docks. He's only got 2, which Buddha can actually see because he's over here right now scouting. Only just now uncovering this dock because he's seen it change from Dark Age to Food Age architecture, but he'll notice that there are only 2 docks here, and that should give him the signal to go really aggressive with all these galleys, because he can just flood DauT basically, and probably destroy a lot of these fishing ships and maybe even completely negate DauT's rush if he was going to do one. Okay, he's got another dock here, of course. I forgot about that. That was just off the screen. So 3 docks versus 4, giving Butter the advantage, but he needs to make sure he also micros well. Very early fletching for DauT, considering that it was like his nomad start and he docked the wrong place. His economy is actually it's okay, they're saying there's some lag here. His economy is actually looking in good shape in terms of food as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see pretty fast click-ups on both. Saying it's the co-op spectator wrath that's causing the lag. Wouldn't be surprised to see pretty fast click-ups from both players here because they're already floating a big bank of food, so it's like they can continue producing galleys with this mostly wood economy, and they've got so many fishing ships that they should get that 800 food pretty quick, and then all they need is a little bit of extra gold and they're off on their way. Buddha is getting an advantage on the water here, 11 galleys to 6. Both players with 10 fishing ships though, so Buddha not actually killing them off, killing DauT's ones off, and unfortunately for him, he either didn't realise that DauT's ones have gone up here, or he's distracted and taken the galleys elsewhere, because he could have got all of those. I mean, they're not doing anything, they're not working, but nevertheless it'd be fantastic to have destroyed all those fishing ships at this point, because his fishing is working so well for him, but he needs to be careful because he's in danger right now. DauT is grouping up most of his galleys on Buddha's docks, and I doubt that DauT would be so merciful as to let all those fish escape. But maybe he will. Maybe he will. I was about to say there was a 10 village elite then, but I think it was a case of those fishing ships going idle and counting as villagers, as I so often get tripped up by. Buddha with blacksmith. Does he have a market? Nope. Those fish are managing to escape for the most part for now, taking some hits. The sound seems really loud compared to the game I was just in today. Laying down a little bit. And oh, this happened to me when I was casting Dreams versus DauT the other night. You were in these old wrecks that presumably are booting on 1.0c or something. If I change the sound volume, it switches the team colours over, so it's completely swapped over now. We've got Buddha in the blue and DauT with Wrath's co-op spectating with him in the red. Buddha still with a few more galleys. It seems neither player actually... Okay, DauT getting a good amount of fishing working again now, but Buddha's one's just being chased around and around. Still no sign of the second feudal age building from Buddha, which would be a market if he was going to stay mostly on water and just try and click up. Same thing for DauT, although he's adding a barracks and 2 stables, so he's not going to go purely water-based approach, but he's got a lot of fish working now. He might be able to click up pretty quickly anyway and then do 2 stable knights. Buddha's got his fishing ships working now, at least, mostly protected by his galleys. Actually taking a nice fight here as well. I think DauT, for the most part, is not really focusing too much on water. Obviously those 2 stables partially signal that, but it's not continuing to produce so that he secures his access to all this fish, which I don't know if it's the right decision, because this fishing area is so dense that it would just be such a boon to have access to it in for the rest of the game basically. And DauT, by not continuing to produce on water, is giving that up and giving Buddha free fish boom from now on. But instead DauT will concentrate on the land. Palisaded these wolves. Try and spot if they move. Could I adjust the volume again and change the colours back? Let's see. Let's see if it happens. Yeah, it happened again. I think it depends on whose point of view I'm on. Whoever's point of view I'm on, I think, when I change the sound, that person becomes the new, like, effective player 1 and becomes blue. Oh look, I got team colours on as well. They're actually playing in blue and teal, but let's keep it like this. I won't change it again. We'll go back to DauT in blue on the left and Buddha in red on the right, as it was for most of the game until that brief change. We see Buddha opting with the market to help him click up, which he's just finished wheelbarrow and buying 100 food, and he should be going up, I presume. Almost there. And he's got 800 gold banked as well. Barracks. This should be a stable. Yes, indeed. DauT, though, is going to be having a 2-minute advantage in Castle Age uptime, so that's going to be, I don't know, 6-8 nights if he just keeps pumping from both stables that he would have an advantage on. And right now, Buddha has only built... Okay, he goes second stable. I think third stable, okay, he'll be able to start catching up with production there, but I still think if he realises what DauT's doing quick enough, then getting a couple of camels at least to start off with to kind of even it up would be advisable. He's scanning with this turkey. He's just seen a building foundation go up there. Looks like a TC to me, probably. Yeah. So Buddha with complete water control, which is, as I said, a huge advantage to him. Like, this fish boom cannot be underestimated. He's now up to almost 20 vision chips, but he needs to be careful on land because DauT is flooding knights towards him. And it's still going to be a little while until he can start producing from those 3 stables. Getting bloodlines on his way up. DauT has done the same. Let's have a look at food and gold. Buddha really has the ability to produce a lot from those stables. He's floating so much. Nice quick ball here to deny DauT access. DauT's going to have to go the long way around here, and Buddha looks like he's going to... Yeah, there we go. Seal that access off. DauT, meanwhile, a little bit lower on food, but he's still taking boars, and it's partly understandable that... Okay, there's loads of turkeys there as well. Partly understandable that he'd be starting to go low on food as well, because he's flooding knights and he's got 2 TCs, which he's running at least partially. Bodkin arrow was going to be done by Buddha, but he cancels it and instead chooses to go forging. Like, makes sense. Doesn't really need Bodkin arrow to maintain control of the water. He's won that. What he does need is more powerful either knights or camels, whatever he's doing there. A mix of the two to help him make up the numbers deficit that he had from starting production much later. Nice spot for the TC there, wood and gold. And it's sort of out of the way of DauT's stream of knights. Like, they'll probably come around here. So he should be able to get that TC up safely. A couple more knights going to come out and then a full round of 3 camels, which should mean that Buddha becomes pretty safe here, although DauT's still flooding. +1/+1 for Buddha though, that makes a big difference, those 2 in combination. No blacksmith upgrades for DauT. And 3 more camels come out and DauT can't fight that anymore. He is ahead on villager count though. About to get 3rd TC up, whereas Buddha's still finishing his 2nd. I'd like to see another lumber camp there actually. Camels being shot up by a TC, something you never want because the camels unfortunately count as ships and take bonus damage from buildings. One of those quirks of Age of Empires, of which there are a few. I always wish that bug would be fixed to make the camels slightly more viable units, because the fact that they take so much damage from TCs, towers, castles means that if your opponent has any of those within, well, they're basically congregated around any kind of area, it becomes a no-fly zone for camels, because they just melt basically. You know, it's perfectly understandable why they don't have loads of pierce armor from a game balance perspective, but why they take all that damage from TCs, God only knows why they got coded as ships. DauT's starting to add in a lot more camels of his own in response to what his opponent's doing. Did actually do a few fire ships on the water as well, sneaky ones, but he didn't really get any of the fishing ships. I think Butter was on 18 fishing ships quite a long time ago, and he's still on 18, so unless he lost some of them, made more, he hasn't lost any. DauT stocks are completely cleared up. Be nice to see like a Butter dock over here somewhere to try and steal some of this fishing as well. I mean, does he know about that dock? Okay, he does. It'd be nice to destroy that dock and then put his own there. But I guess it's transporting a villager over there, and it's a lot of effort. But long term, once he fishes all this out, then that will be a really nice option in like 10-15 minutes time. Iron casting kicking in. Butter going to be on +2/+1. That's going to be making his units quite a lot more powerful than DauT's, which continue to have no blacksmith upgrades. He went with more of the economy-focused approach on land, more TCs, faster villager production. But the thing is, all that does is make up for the fact that Butter has 18 fishing ships working for him constantly. So I wouldn't look at DauT's villager lead as an economic advantage at the moment. I'd say he's still behind in economy. Both players actually floating a little bit of gold here. Both going for pikemen at more or less the same time. Obviously, perfect defensive option when both players are just not really doing anything but run at each other with knights and camels. These are actually a massive score lead developing between the two players, but that is okay. There's a big population difference, but also it's important to note that just being on water always gives you so much score. It's usually worth about 1,000 score. It's pretty crazy. But it certainly does reflect the difference in game state, because that fish boom is just so valuable and so powerful. This TC could eventually go down. It's Persian TC, so it'll take a long time. But DauT's being forced further and further inland. The nice thing for DauT, though, is that he did basically get to the intersection of, if you could think of this as kind of like an arrow, he got to like the arrowhead, or the intersection of the two arms of the arrow. And this is where like loads of the gold is on the map. There's stone, 1, 2, 3 golds. And it's pretty sheltered as well. This is a really nice wall, actually. It funnels everything. Actually, I was going to say it funnels stuff down here, but this is walled up too. So, DauT with an advantage in map control on land, but not with any water control. So, swings and roundabouts, as they say. Handcart, bowsaw for Butter. Quickly see if DauT got those. Was I on his point of view? Let me just, sorry, let's go all the way back. Can't remember. Yeah, I am. No handcart just yet. Did get bowsaw. Okay, there's just handcart, the difference between the two of them. Both players just kind of pretty passive now, I think. We did see a lot of action at the start of Castle Age. Butter clearing up on water, and then them attacking each other with the knights and the camels, but then both pretty much transitioned to a pikeman defense at the same time, which more or less put an end to that, and DauT throwing up walls additionally put an end to it. And now it's a more boomy approach as we head into a later game. DauT's putting this castle on the kind of entrance to his base where he's put a gate, so that's like a map control castle, because it really does kind of dominate this whole central area, and one of the only 2 routes into his base. On the way to the Imperial Age as well. Let's see how Butter's doing. Quite a long way off. He could sell some wood to really manipulate that and get up. But it's kind of surprising that he is a little bit behind there. He did fall behind in villager production, but the fishing ships obviously counteract that, and then some. But he's also spent more, I guess. I mean, he's made more military, he did more upgrades. He did handcart earlier. And DauT on his way to the Imperial Age, laying down more barracks. I guess we'll probably see something like Halberdier HC with some siege. Not uncommon to see something like that in Persian's war. Apologies for that, I hope the coughing didn't seem too loud on stream. Right, Buddha's on his way, getting all the economics, like second stage economic upgrades as he advances to the next stage. Heavy plough, 2 types of shaft mining kicking in. He's laying down lots of archer ranges, so he's actually going elite skirm. Interesting. So that's a unit which obviously does quite a bit of damage against the Halb HC combo. It's kind of a way to fight kind of pretty cheaply against that, but you can't rely on elite skirm alone, that's for sure. So you'll need to mix in something else with that. That's still running around with turkeys back here. Oh, transport, nice. It's actually brought a second load because the transport's capacity is 5. No capacity upgrade researched, and 5 still on the transport, 5 dropped off. So that'll be interesting to see what Buddha manages to do with that. He's not springing at the attack straight away. The difficulty is like DauT has TCs in most, well, not everywhere. I guess he should be able to pick up a sizable number of villas. Actually, this one's about to go down, so he can get all these villagers. This is actually pretty big. Unfortunately, most of them are just kind of managed to slip away through that gap, but he could get some of these as well. But then again, DauT is sitting here with 137 villagers, which is enormous. And if he loses 10 here, it's not going to be the end of the world for him by any means. His economy is fantastic at this point. We saw chemistry kicking in for one of the players. Actually didn't see which one it was now because I was too focused on the stable aggression. I'm going to assume it was DauT. Actually, I think we just saw chemistry on that mangonel shot, did we not? Battering rams coming out. Halberdier was done for him. And all of those raiding cavalry were obviously cleaned up by the pikemen, now Halberdier. Al-Clan Buddha is just going full trash approach here. Look at all these pikemen and all these elite skirms. He doesn't have a lot of gold on his side of the map, that's for sure, so perhaps with half an eye to that. But quite a bit of stone. So I think TCs, okay, that's, you know, it's just that one TC and a university. That's pretty late university. If these armies come together, then they're certainly going to want ballistics for the elite skirms. Buddha's navy's done a good job of forcing DauT away from the southern part of where he started, basically. But he's laid claim to so much more of the map in the north. Stop doing stuff. Just making me mad. I wonder if it's this annoyance or something. I don't know. Or this. Treb's coming out. 2v1. Oh, does he think Wrath is playing for DauT, helping him out in co-op? No, not at all, says Wrath. Okay, Treble begins. DauT with a bunch of elephants in there. Brilliant. See if this castle manages to stay up before conscription kicks in. Elephants are ungarrisoned, probably due to the amount of damage that the castle has sustained. So easy victory in the Treb War for Buddha. His next move may be to start treading down the gate and try and push in, but DauT with a more powerful army, even if he as yet lacks the numbers that Buddha has. You know, war elephants, such tanky units in this situation. But a lot of halbs, it has to be said as well, and those aren't elite war elephants, and you won't have all the upgrades either. DauT is actually without a castle as well, so he's not going to be making any more of them or getting that elite upgrade anytime soon. And Buddha is going to move in for the fight, and with superior numbers overall, but lacking those really powerful units like hand cannons in the back doing work on the HC, and war elephants mixing in and tanking a lot of the attack, especially just shrugging off skirmisher fire in particular. But whilst all that goes on, Buddha with the fire support in the back from the Trebs taking down a TC. Never something you're going to say no to as a player. Take down the opponent TC no matter what stage of the game. And village accounts have started to get a little bit closer. About 18 difference between the two, and Buddha's still got his 18 fishing ships working. Not perfectly efficiently. As I said, still have seen put a dock just somewhere else on one of these spare islands to keep those working at good efficiency. Buddha has a lot of wood in the bank. Food and gold both quite low. Gold understandably so, considering he doesn't have a lot to mine. But with this trash plus Treb's focused approach, he's making the gold go far at least. And so far, he's actually got a better kill to death ratio. I mean, that does include all of the units that he cleared on water, cleared up on water, but it's trash v some trash and then some gold units. So just in abstract terms, that normally works out better for the player who's adding gold units. But larger army in total for Buddha, and he's reinforcing it and making it work for him. That stable going down the moment it was placed. DauT has, okay, he's still got quite a lot of gold left to mine here. About 10 tiles overall, some of them partially depleted. I think Buddha's approach will continue to be just full trash plus siege. DauT's going to have the luxury of adding in a few more hand cannoneers and probably being able to afford more bombard cannons than Buddha does long term. But then again, Buddha can, I don't know how much the market prices have been crashed at this point. Still good price on food and actually stone as well, and Buddha had quite a bit of stone to mine. So Buddha could continue to add some siege for a long time yet, probably with just a little bit of use of the market. Elephant's getting involved and doing good work here though now, actually. Buddha just hasn't added enough halberdiers back into this mix, and now this could be all the Trebs being in danger if those war elephants turn their attention to them, but they're kind of focusing on flinging those skirms to their deaths with their tusks. And it's going to be the bombard cannon in the back that really goes to town on those Trebs. Feels like DauT's starting to get a bit of an initiative here now. We'll get a bit of initiative. Buddha is having his army numbers depleted significantly and losing ground here. We've really seen the value of the fact that DauT pushed DauT early and kind of got control of all of this middle area so that he had all the golds up here. Buddha started off with more gold on his side and just generally being closer to more gold, but in the end it was DauT that claimed them all. And even food looking quite low for Butter, whereas DauT, 1k plus of everything. Keeping everything nicely balanced. Not quite at the top cap, but not far off. Looking good to continue pushing here. This area is so congested though. It really is a bloodbath. There's no question of there being like flanking maneuvers and split pushing here. It's just like, it's like a choke point in Black Forest, it really is. Except neither player has an abundance of gold from trade to work with, for example. Although, wow, I've been focusing on this area for far too long. Sorry, I'm getting a bit tired, I think. Should have spotted that much longer ago. Butter landing the southern part of DauT's base. Castle, 2 siege workshops, 2 stables. He's not really cleared up much of what DauT has, to be fair. We can see by the lack of dead bodies, unlike the few here, that he hasn't pushed into this area at all. But DauT will have to deal with this. He's like stopping any stable units coming out. He's got halbs, but something more could develop there, and we'll keep an eye on that. Push in the middle is kind of very attritional. Once again, although Butter's castle has only a couple more cannon shots that it can withstand. Okay, make that 3, and it goes down, and that really opens the way for DauT to continue his push, to redouble his push. Few halbs straight into line of fire. I think Butter right now, he's hurting so much for resources. He has nothing really in the bank that he's just not able to make any use of this. Like, he's actually spent a lot of resources, a castle, all the wood to build all these buildings, and then a bit of army at least to do that, and he doesn't have the resources to fight on 2 fronts, and he can't afford to make units there and not here, because his whole eco will die if he just stops fighting here. He has to fight here, and he's losing that too. So, I don't know about that landing. It seemed like a waste of resources, and it may have been what caused Butter to ultimately lose the ground here, because he was holding fine for a while. The colours have swapped over again now the game's ended, that's annoying. But we saw, there was just a moment where Butter really stopped having halbs in front of his skirms and seemed to just lose ground. And I wonder, because I missed when the landing happened, whether that was when he was focusing on doing this. I mean, ultimately nothing much came of it. There is not a lot of corpses here, so it wasn't a big deal. But it may have been a big deal in the sense that it took Butter's attention away from here too much, and also resources. Anyway, interesting game. Not often you see ES Pilgrims, which I think is like included by default with the map, the ES being Ensemble Studios. Yeah, nice game. It's one of those maps like Nomad where sometimes I think all of the gold can sometimes be far away from one player. Like DauT landed here and then he had one gold pile literally on this part of the map, and all the gold was up here with Butter, but he recognised that and he took control of it, which I think was really key to the game overall. Like, even on the way to the Imperial Age, Butter was preparing to only make trash and a little bit of siege, because he was laying down archery ranges en masse and getting elite skirm straight away. It was like he was already resigned himself to the fact that this was going to be nothing but a trash war for him, because DauT had taken decisive map advantage in early Castle Age, really, when he was first up to the Castle Age and was flooding those knights. But yeah, good game. Quickly check the achievements before we're done. Bit better trades with DauT's kills to deaths ultimately. Obviously destroying a lot more buildings. Bit more gold collected. Actually not a lot more, although that may have been a sign that Butter was using the market a lot more. Because that gold collected by selling at the market does factor into that, and I think he probably sold a lot more off. Also interesting, Butter had that free fish boom the whole game, but DauT farm boomed so much more, ended up collecting so much more food. I guess the thing for Butter as well, he had no space. Like, he dropped that TC right by the shore, where he had no space to build farms around particularly, and then on the other side of the forest he had some space, but then his military buildings were to the west, and he just I don't think he would have had the space on his map to build the number of farms that DauT did. DauT really did a good job in creating room for himself. If a body dies on a farm, should it refertilise the farm? Well, maybe we'll see that in Age of Empires 4 if it ever comes. Alright then, I'm done here. As I said during that game, I'm pretty tired. Got a lot of streaming today, but it's been fun. I've seen 2 deathmatch tournament sets, 1 Mash of Islands tournament set, and that Classic Rec to finish off. So I'm offline. Before I go, just a quick announcement about tomorrow's streaming on Voodoo Official. 18 GMT on Monday tomorrow, or even today if you're further ahead of me in time zone. 18 GMT Interdimension versus Neltford in the gold bracket of the Deathmatch World Cup. That's a really good match that's going to be casted by Clemenceau, who is a good deathmatch player himself, so able to offer some good insights there. And if that series is over and Clem's free, then he'll continue with a deathmatch marathon at 20 GMT when number 2 seed Kellen Quendi True, aka Knowledge, will face off against Colours, who I think was one of the other top 8 seeds for the tournament. I think so. But anyway, yeah, really like high level, top level deathmatch games tomorrow. 18 and 20 GMT here tomorrow, casted by Clemenceau. Alright guys, thank you very much.